وقت کودک به تو لبخند می زند، قلب تو به جهان باز می شود. وقت طوفان تو را ترک می کند، آرزو می کنی هرچه هست به کام تو باشد. بیدار، خواب، زمان گهواره زندگیت را می جنباند. و ناگهان تو می خواهی زندگیت را با عشق سر کنی. I'm Shahla Latifi. I am an Afghan-American woman. I consider myself a woman first, then a mother, then a writer, and a poet. Well, I was brought up in Kabul city. I was born and brought up in Kabul city, Afghanistan. He presented himself a great gentleman, well-dressed, very positive, very kind, caring man. And he also repeated for me, when you come there, the first thing you have to do, finish your education. And that was the most happiest thing I heard in my life. Because I was the kind of girl always independent, always want to stand on my feet, never to gain money or respect from him like that. I never cared about money. I wanted to do things by myself, earn it by myself. So when he said, when you come here, the first thing you have to do, finish your education, I said, wow, he's such a great guy. Tell you the truth, I was very, very mature. I was even 18 years old at the time, but my mentality was like a 12 or 13 years old. But when I came here, everything shifted, everything changed. He wasn't the same person anymore. I came here and I became a housewife. And my duties right there in front of me, what to do and what not to do. And I trusted him as a physician, as a doctor who lives in America for 40 years. So I thought he's open-minded. He will accept a different, unique lady in his life and celebrate that. And unfortunately, he did the opposite thing. He told me to never cut your hair, never wear short dress, never wear pants, never wear nail color, never wear lipstick. And your duty to please your husband and clean the house. And that was my duties. And he became aggressive. When I was not performing well, I was not doing as exactly as he telling me to do, he was becoming aggressive. He was calling me names, and daytime he was pulling my hair. He was telling me, if you don't do that, I'm not buying you this, I'm not doing this, I'm not taking you that place, I'm not taking you this place. Just like we treat a young teenager. Because he was a physician, he knew that was a problem. He knew if it was a mark on my wife, it's going to be noticeable. So he was always targeting my hair or my shoulders and my back, never my face. And unfortunately, that continued for a few years. But when I started working with him in the office, then he stopped that. I guess he knew I was exposed to outside. I might say something to somebody. So then he usually used other techniques of abuse, which was emotional and verbal. Then the abuse became emotional and verbal constantly. When I told my husband, of course, he wasn't happy about that because he never wanted more children. And he encouraged me to abort the child, which I wasn't able to do it emotionally or psychologically. But unfortunately, he forced me. He took me to the clinic in south of Jacksonville and aborted the child the next day. But I never let that hurt to make a house in my heart, to damage my heart and my soul. I had to protect my heart and my soul from all the pain. And I knew there is something better in life than this. And finally I realized, like, wow, this life is not for me. This is not normal. This is called an abusive relationship. I suffer emotionally, verbally, and financially. And my child, my older child, suffered emotionally, psychologically, financially. This is not right. So that's why I wanted to divorce, but I couldn't because he always threatening me, like, if you do that, I take the children and go to Afghanistan. Or you cannot do it because you don't have the money or the power or the resource. And that's true. I had no friends, no money, nothing. I worked hard for him. I lived with dignity and loyalty, but I had no money. I married to him for 22 years. And it's 3 years now that we divorced. When he sold the office, I stayed home with no money. And I told them, how can I support myself? How can I support my children? He says, go work in McDonald's. And that was the breaking point. So I said, listen, I gave you a list, what I desire, you fulfill it, or I divorce you. He got my note and he threw it on the floor. And like a bully child, he jumped on it with his feet, to annoy me. And I said, okay then, great. The next day, I knew a good lawyer, someone to advise me once. I called him, one of the best in Jacksonville. And when I got to him, he said, Shahla, give me all the resources, your documents, all the documents you have to see how much you have, what you gained from all your life and trouble for this man. I had $2,000 in my saving account. He was in shock. He says, Shahla, this is going to be a very, very, very difficult road because as my understanding, you own nothing. You just own your body and your kids. And when my lawyer says, Shahla, are you ready? Are you ready to do this? Because it's going to be a heavy road, a very difficult road. I said, you know what? I have such a strength. I enjoy this. Yes, I'm ready to do it. While I was married to my husband for good 10 years, I never read books. In those years, I had a little bit of time to sit in the office, and while I was finishing the work, I do something else. So what I did, I started writing. So my Persian grammar, Persian handwriting was really bad. As beautiful, as strong as it was once, it wasn't there anymore because I was practicing English for many years. But I started writing, and I was writing it like hiding it, just like I got my citizenship. I got my citizenship by hiding it from my husband. So when I start poetry about my feelings, about things, I was using pencil to erase it easily. So I was writing. When he was coming, I was putting a medical journal. So I started from there 7 years ago when I was working with him. 2012, I started writing, and 2013, spring of 2013, I published my first poetry book. And then I continued working hard, and my second selection of poetry was published in 2015, which I have 2 books now. Next, I'm working on the English poetry book. Mm-hmm. And I try to gather all my work from 5 years until now. My message for younger generation of Afghan women to stand up on your own feet first. Education is the key. Knowledge is the key. If you educate yourself and gain knowledge, then lots of doors can get open for you right in front of you. If you have no education, no knowledge, all doors are closed. My message for them to educate yourself, to learn, study better about yourself, respect yourself, like yourself the way you are, and whatever hidden talent you have, nurture that. Whatever ability you have to work on it to master that. And then with respect, with good education, with good knowledge, do what is right for you. Destiny is a noun that has been used by my mother to ensure the depth of life's uncertainties. Destiny is an utterly indulgent word to escape from reality. If a bird breaks her wings on the shoulder of a windowsill, if the sun wants to sleep all day soundly, if a garden is dying and no one could hear the melody of her awaking soul, when I dance carefree with the temptation of love coming upon me, my mother would connect every unenthusiastic yet satisfactory moment to that unclear fact of life, the destiny.